AMIIBO. Everyone and their grandma has one of these plastic little somewhere in their house. I've one of more than a few. Some would say I need professional help, or that I have a problem, but why do that when I can sink my savings into plastic toys that look pretty on a shelf? As I'm clearly the most qualified AMIIBO owner on the planet, I think it's time I start my YouTube debut with a ranking of all the Super Smash Bros. AMIIBO currently available at the time of recording, putting my opinions out on the internet for people to argue against. Please don't hurt me. These are of course my own opinion, and you are entitled to your own. I would love to remain unshanked. Please and thank you, kiss kiss. But first, let's dive into a bit of a history lesson. AMIIBO first came into light in 2014 with the release of Smash 4. It was pretty much the first time you could have statues of some of these characters in your own home. They were similar to trophies, an in-universe item used in Smash Bros. Which first appeared canonically in the Smash Brawl story mode Subspace Emissary, where fighters from Smash Brawl were fighting to stop being turned into these trophies and to stop a villain known as Taboo. However, trophies were firstly a thing in Smash Melee as collectibles. This function returns for Smash Brawl and for Smash 4. They were used in Sora's reveal trailer for Smash Ultimate 2, stood still staring, under a Smash symbol made from fire. So, now that you're all up to date on the history of AMIIBOs and statues within the Super Smash Bros. Series, let's get on to the ranking! I began by putting them into the order they are on the Smash Ultimate roster. This tier list was made by Samuel Schenberger on Tierlist.com, and they were sorted in the order the AMIIBO released, not in any sort of roster order. I'm using 5 tiers, going from the ones I love, to the ones that are okay, to the ones that I think are quite bad. I'm majoritively ranking these, obviously of my own opinion, but it's more how the figure relates to the character as a whole. And ones that are just kind of stood there, take Samus for example, are going to be ranked lower than others, like Joker, who have extra stuff going along on the figure. Starting off with Mario, the Fire Flower makes it, I can't lie. Like, he doesn't have his Fire Flower outfit, but I think the Fireball really adds to a figure where otherwise he would just be kind of looking threatening, so I think that puts him pretty good. DK, I don't get why DK's kind of floating. Like, I guess it's a bit more of a dynamic thing, and he does have texture, he has textured fur, it's kind of cool. I'm gonna have to put this in there though. Link, this is his Smash 4 figure. I should probably note, the majority of these characters have their figurines from Smash 4. Link, again, he's leaning forward, he's got shield raise, sword out, dynamic posing, but there's not really a lot, so I'd put it in there. Samus, bad, she's just stood there. Dark Samus, however, I'm going to have to put at the top of pretty good, because textured, dynamic pose, she's floating, like she floats in the game. There is a texture on her armor, it's like lumpy, it's cool. Yoshi, I'm going to put towards actually, I'm going to say leaning towards bad. Like, he's facing away, which like some other AMIIBO figures do, like Riju or Urbosa. Kirby, I'm going to have to put in bad. He's just sat there. Fox, I'd put in meh. It's a dynamic pose, he's got texture. Pikachu, again, just standing there. Luigi, Luigi's one is kind of iconic. Like for me, particularly, I just find it quite funny. The fact that that was his pose in Smash 4, it was one of his taunts in Smash 4. I'm gonna put it in love. Ness, he's pointing. I mean, they included his backpack. And I mean, the hat does have a little texture to it, but it just kind of looks a bit awkward. So I'm gonna put it in there. Captain Falcon, throwing a kick. I feel like it would have been better if it was a Falcon Punch, but he's just kind of got his leg raised, but I still think it's pretty good. Jigglypuff, I mean, she's floating a little bit. Peach, I'd say meh. Like, it's not really a lot of her character. That's more of a Smash issue than the AMIIBO issue though, but I think meh. Daisy, I'd put in pretty good, above Captain Falcon, is showing off her high energy. Bowser, I'd also put at the top of pretty good. He's menacing, his colours are very like vivid as well. Ice Climbers, not to be biased obviously, but I'd put that in love. At the back, you can't really see it on this image, but there's Where Nana is positioned behind Popo, her back foot is on a piece of ice. The backdrop of the figure itself is just like an ice spike. Sheik I'm going to put leaning towards bad, just kind of stood there. I guess it's a ninja pose. Zelda I'd put near the top of leaning towards bad. The only really thing that saves her is the fact it does kind of look like wind is affecting her dress. Dr. Mario, better than Samus, because he has his pill. Pichu I'd put leaning towards bad, because he's jumping a little bit, but that's it. Falco and Foxes are meant to reflect each other, but again, it's a similar thing to Fox, where it's kind of an awkward pose to be hitting. Marth, leaning towards bad. Lucina I'd put in meh, purely because she's hitting the counter stance. Young Link, I think, is on a similar boat to regular Link, like, he's just kind of got his sword and shield out, that's all. Ganondorf, this being a Smash 4 appearance, is from Twilight Princess. Just like that's Twilight Princess Zelda, that's Twilight Princess Link. I would say leaning towards bad. He's just kind of stood there, but I'd put him near the top. Better than, like, these lot. Mewtwo, like, menacing, I guess. Put in meh, better than Peach, but not really showing off any of that, like, psychic ability. Roy I'd put with Marth immediately, just stood there. Chrom has the cape ruffle, that's about it. Game & Watch, I would actually put near the top of pretty good, not because of this figure specifically, but because when Game & Watch's amiibo released, originally it comes with 3 extra poses for Game & Watch. You can swap the actual trophy bit on top, and I think that's very cool. Meta Knight, I mean, he's got his wings raised. It's kind of similar to Lucina, where it's like, he's showing a move, that's it. Pit levitating is kind of like his entrance to battles. Dark Pit having the, I've forgotten what it's called, but he uses it for his final smash. The fact that he's holding it, that puts him like at the top of meh. Zero Suit kind of just stood there. She's hitting a pose, she has a gun out. I'd put that near meh, or in meh. Wario's, he's using his Smash Ultimate form is from his WarioWare appearance. He does have alt costumes of his like Mario one with the yellow hat with the W. There is an amiibo for the Mario version. They're Mario versions, and I kind of prefer the Mario one to the Smash Ultimate one. The Mario amiibo, it's kind of just a nicer pose. I would have to put it in bad. Snake just kind of stood there, but it does look like he's using his like earpiece, and there is like a wind effect with this bandana. I'm gonna put it in the middle of meh. Ike, he's got a big sword. That's really all I can say. Now Pokemon Trainers is cool because it is one character, but it's split into 4 figures. They have the actual trainer, Squirtle, Ivysaur, Charizard. Charizard replaced the Pokemon Trainer of Smash 4. So Charizard's amiibo is the Smash 4 one. The rest of them come from Smash Ultimate. The trainer itself, to be honest, I would rank this all as one amiibo. They're all kind of, I mean, they're pretty good. Like, the trainer's jeans has texture on them, he has a Pokeball out, and it does kind of look like they're supposed to come as a set, but they don't. Diddy Kong, he's just kind of stood there. Lucas, same boat as Ness, but a bit worse, because he's not got any extras. Sonic, he's running. That's what Sonic does. I should not split those. DDD's, again, it's got like a little bit of texturing on the fur, but apart from that, not a lot to offer. Bottom of there. Olimar's actually, I really like, purely because if there wasn't the Pikmin around him, he does have a yellow one, you can't really see it on this picture. If that wasn't there, it would just look very weird. But I really like it. Like, for a character that I don't really like in Smash, I like his amiibo. I think mainly because of the Pikmin, and the like helmet is just plastic, you can see through it. Lucario, leaning towards bad. He's just kind of stood there, I guess. Rob actually has 2. He has his Skin 1 and Skin 2. His Skin 2 being his like Famicom, I think, appearance, where his arms and his base are red and he's more cream coloured than grey. He's kind of just looking off in the distance, so I'm gonna have to put him in meh, but I like the Famicom one more than the grey one. Toon Link, he's running, he's got a sword and shield out, exact same boat as Link. Wolf has like a threatening stance. I like the fact that you can kind of see the blades on his feet and claws. The AMIIBO has a lot of detail, like texturing on the fur, his like belt buckle is like shiny. It's very cool. Villagers, meh. Bottom of meh. He's just stood there. Like, he's hitting a pose, he's kind of got his leg raised, but if he had like his net from Smash, or obviously originally from Animal Crossing, if he had his net, if he had a Lloyd with him, it would just look so much more like dynamic. I guess the fact that he's just kind of stood there with his arm up, it looks a bit awkward. Mega Man, same boat, just kind of stood there. Wii Fit's game icon for Wii Fit on Smash, I think more Smash Ultimate, I do not remember what it looks like in Smash 4, is this pose. I've forgotten what the pose is called, but it's an actual yoga pose. The fact that it's an actual yoga pose makes it pretty good, but very bordering on meh because it just looks very awkward. Rosalina and Luma. She has a Luma. That makes it better. Otherwise she would just be standing there. Little Mac, I mean, he has a guard up. He looks like he's throwing a punch. That's the point. Greninja's also, I'd put in meh. Like, kind of similar to Sonic. Is like he's hitting a ninja pose. Yay. The three Miis. Unpopular opinion. I do like the fact that the Miis are in Smash Bros. They got rid of them at Mario Kart World, which is insane, bearing in mind Tomodachi Life 2 is being released. But I think it would have been cooler if there was a way that you can make your own custom Mii figures. I feel like that would have maybe been cooler, since that was their whole gimmick in Smash Bros, is that you can customize their looks, you can make them your own. But I think, like, ranking them as a 3, like I rank the Pokemon trainer, I would put them, like, kind of to the top of the meh tier. Because, like, they're not bad, they're not just stood there, but there's a lot of improvements that could be made. Palutena's, she is stood there, yes, but she has her, like, I don't really know what it is, I've never played Kid Icarus, but her, like, angelic light, I guess you could call it. I think that bumps her up to pretty good, in my opinion, because it's also, like, slightly see-through. Pac-Man, weird thing with Pac-Man's one is, I don't know if it's just my figurine or the Pac-Man figurine in general, you can kind of see where it's been put together. This is a similar problem with Jigglypuff. I don't know if it's because they're spherical, but you can kind of see where they've just, like, been clipped. I don't know if it's clipped together, but you can see, like, clear gaps. I would put it leaning towards bad, because he's hitting a pose, he's not just stood. Robin, he has the sword out, he has his book, but he's just standing there. Meh. Shulk, again, just standing there, but he's like leaning, I guess. It does look quite unnatural. It translates to a figurine really well, but apart from that, he is just stood there. I'd put him like almost in meh, but still leaning towards bad. Bowser Jr., I like his figurine. I like that it's like slightly hovering off the floor. He's menacing. He's not really menacing. He's like threatening. It's like he's daring you to fight him. I would actually put that above Palutena and pretty good. Unfortunately, the figurine I have, the white on the clown car, is like slightly yellowed. I think it's just because it was left in the sun a lot, but again, it was a second-hand figurine. Duck Hunt, in the UK, it's actually called the Duck Hunt Duo, instead of just Duck Hunt. I like it. I love it a lot. The dog and the duck, they look very happy. It works. Ryu and Ken, I wouldn't rank them together, but I'd put Ken kind of in meh. Like, I'd say middle. Then Ryu, I'd say actually no, Ryu and Ken, I think they're supposed to mirror each other a little bit because they're facing each other. Or it might just be because Ken has a Smash Ultimate appearance, Ryu has a Smash 4 one. So Cloud has 2, he has his video game one, which is his first costume, and his Advent Children, I think it's Advent Children, the Final Fantasy VII film appearance. I like the Advent Children one so much more than the video game one. Not just because, oh, again, he's just standing there. But like, the Advent Children one, yes, he's standing there, just kind of stood there. That kind of goes against what I've been saying before. But you can, it's really cool. I mean, again, it's more on Smash for adding the film costume. And this is kind of, Cloud having two figures is the start of the Smash 4 DLC. Some of them just have two figurines. It's the same with Steve and Alex, but Bayonetta, Corrin, and Cloud all have two amiibo to their character. Cloud having his costume 1 and costume 2, his game appearance and his film appearance. Corrin having his male and female appearance, and Bayonetta having her Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2 appearance. I don't know if Nintendo did this purely because they were a DLC, but Robin has a male and female, Olimar and Alf, Robin's male and female one, Wii Fit's male and female one. Corrin male, the flames around his sword is cool, I would put him like middle of meh. Corrin female, more dynamic posing, flame around the sword, holding the cape. Bayonetta player 1, I think similar to Snake, but Bayonetta player 2 one is better. It's a bit more of her character than the first one, which it's a more modern version compared to her Skin 1. Obviously it's the second game, but it captures her a bit better with, it's full of sass. Inkling is another one where they did have the opportunity to make the orange Inkling a Smash amiibo and then the blue one a Smash amiibo. They do have a blue Inkling boy amiibo, like they do have an Inkling, orange Inkling girl amiibo that isn't a Smash one, they're just in the Splatoon series. She's kind of just stood there. On the actual figure, she has an ink tank, you can kind of see into it. I would put that kind of less than Robin. Robin has the book. I'm going to up Robin a little bit. But like, she's just kind of there. I'm actually going to up Rosalina and Luma as well. Ridley, I'm not entirely sure what this little white stuff is at the bottom. It kind of acts as a platform for him to stand on because he is a fairly large figurine. I really like it. He has like membranes on his wings. I'd put it in like top. Simon, I really like Simon's one. Same with Richter. The fact that they have the whip out and it does actually curl. Simon's one curls around. Richter is just kind of holding it. It gives the whip an actual size reference based on the character. It's long. It's very long. Simon has a very long whip. K. Rool, his belly is shiny. His skin is also textured, his cape is torn. His like, anything gold on him does shine. Like, he's also quite heavy. He's quite a heavy figure. Isabelle, kind of meh. I put leaning towards bad. Like, again, it's similar with, I'm gonna move villager. It's very similar. If she had the net out, if she had a Lloyd, fishing rod, would have been so much better. Incineroar, I put pretty good. Again, similar to K. Rool, very heavy figurine, but has texturing. Piranha Plant, pretty good, like, in general. I was gonna say I like the fact his mouth is hollow. Another quite heavy one, and deceivingly big. Joker, top tier amiibo. Similar to the Ice Climbers, it's got like a backdrop that it also uses to support the main figurine, but I love the cloak, I love the pose, he's got his blade out, the fire is very cool. Epic. Hero, again, Cloud treatment, Corrin treatment. They had the chance to make all 4 heroes amiibo. Again, kind of get why they didn't, but they are technically different characters. I would put it in leaning towards bad. Just kind of stood there. Banjo and Kazooie, I'd put in pretty good, kind of middle to top. He is on a puzzle piece, which is something you do collect in Banjo and Kazooie. They look happy. If I were to improve it, I would maybe give Banjo the actual Banjo, give Kazooie the actual Kazooie she plays from the game. Terry, I'd say top of meh. Like, he stood there, but I like the texturing on his outfit. Byleth, I'd say, is along the same lines as Corrin. A bit better than male Corrin because the cloak is quite cool, but it's similar where it's just the sword has texture, but apart from that, it's stood there. And again, Corrin treatment. Why not make a female version? Min Min, I hate Min Min as a character. I get Nintendo wanted to have like another Nintendo fighter instead of like third party, but Min Min and ARMS was a new game, but yeah. Again, that's Smash Ultimate thing, not the figurine, but because of that, bad. Steve and Alex, they are genuinely stood there. I mean, there's not really a lot they could have done with the figures, I have to admit. But they did Steve Alex, they didn't do Zombie and Enderman. Again, Corrin problem. But they could have given them swords. They could have put them in the minecarts, which at this point is Steve's majoritively used move in the entire world. I would say better than Kirby and Pikachu's. Sephiroth's very, very good. I would say better than these three. The wing is cool, the sword is, I was gonna say his sword is long. His thing has the buckles, he's got long boots, his sword shines, it goes through his hair. Pyro and Mithra, they came as a pair. They don't really float. Pyro and Mithra, again, kind of just stood there, but I mean, their costumes are quite elaborate, but that's a character thing and not a figurine thing. I would put them top of leaning towards bad, purely because they do mirror each other. It's similar to Fox and Falco. Kazuya, he doesn't have any sort of texture on him, so I would have to put him at the bottom of meh. Sora, I like that they included a little Mickey Mouse. And this figurine, this amiibo, I'm pretty sure released in late 2024, far after Sora's announcement. He's got his keyblade out, but it's similar to Dr. Mario, where he is just genuinely kind of stood there, so there's not really a lot I can say. So this is the completed tier list. Let me know what you think, if you agree with me, if you don't. This was my first YouTube video I've ever made. Not gonna lie, I kind of wanted to do this after watching my friend Ben Boy do some videos. I've joined him on a few. Like and subscribe, I guess. Join me on my journey through YouTube. Yeah, that's about it. Guess I'll see you next time.